Well, hello, my crafty lovelies. I'm so very thankful you're here. We're just going to jump right in. Today we are making a realistic looking guitar shaped card, and we are using Bibi Cameron's Majestic guitar dies. This is a set of 11 dies. I've already taken out the main base that I'm going to be using for this card. There is an add-on for this that makes it a box. And I think that's super cool. I haven't used it yet, but it's there if I need to. I'm going to start with some yellow, and we're going to ink blend this with some orange. That's how we start the ink blending. So I've sped up the video here because ink blending goes incredibly slow sometimes, and I'm really focusing on getting this card perfect. So right now I just started with the lightest of the orange, which was orange peel. Now, if you don't have these same inks, just grab whatever you have. And I'm just doing an overall very light-handed wash with this orange peel. I want the yellow to kind of look orange because this is going to be a realistic looking sunburst guitar. Then we're going around the edge in orange twist. And I'm doing a very heavy hand in this orange twist, as hard as I can actually push. It's very heavy. And although it doesn't show up very well in the video, I assure you that it looks pretty good in person and is definitely orange on the outside. Then I go in with some cranberry fizz, which is a very dark red. Now what this is going to do is around the middle afterwards, when we do the black on the outside, it's going to look gradient from yellow to orange to red on the middle and then into the black on the outside. And that's exactly how a starburst guitar looks. So now I felt like there was ink on my hands and I didn't really want to get fingerprints on here. And the inks that I'm using, they have properties like similar to oxides in that they stay wet for a very long time. So they blend very well. But again, if you had your hand right on there, it's going to definitely maybe pick up some ink on your fingers and then accidentally get that on the yellow part, and that's what I was trying to prevent. Now I'm going in with Midnight, which is the blackest of blacks on the outside of this guitar. And again, because this stays wet for a very long time, I was able to afterwards, I thought that this black line looked kind of harsh. So you'll see that after I complete the outside in black, I go back over it again. And as I've said, these inks stay wet for a very long time. And I'm able to actually smooth out and blend in some of that black so that it's not such a harsh line. So I'm just finishing that up here. And yeah, I actually cannot believe how realistic this looks. I sent a video of it to some of my nieces and they said, "Oh my word, that's amazing." Even the one that isn't into card making loved it, which made my heart happy because she is a guitar player, so she would actually really appreciate this guitar card. So here I am just ink blending that again. Now this is a details die. It's going to leave the details on that piece. So then I just start cutting out of different colors all of the various pieces that I need for this. This is the pick guard in black, and of course an authentic starburst guitar would have a pick guard in black or in tortoiseshell. And I don't have any tortoiseshell paper and didn't really want to make any, so I did the black. And then the circles around, if you look at the circles around an exact guitar look-alike, they're black kind of with a white outline or white with a black outline. So that's what I was trying to achieve here. And I just love this glue stick for all these mini parts. This is the two-way squeeze glue by Zig, and very easy to use. Gets in all of those nooks and crannies that you need it to. Making sure to give a generous amount and putting pressure on after each one, because the way that these are shaped is kind of hollow on the flip side of it. So the glue sits in there kind of flat. And unless you give it a lot of pressure, it's not going to actually make very well contact with the paper. So you really got to give it a lot of pressure. I hope that makes sense. If you try it, you'll see. And then here I'm just gluing this board onto the bottom. This is the fretboard. Is that what it is? I don't even know. This is where the pegs and the strings get put into. I don't know what the actual component is called. And now I am just getting a piece of white. So I did that in that fretboard thing in white also, because I want this to look authentic, as I've said. And that piece is actually white on an authentic looking guitar. So I cut that piece out twice and just used the white piece for that, glued it onto the strings. Now I have a Copic marker because on an authentic looking guitar, the strings are actually 4 of them are gold and 2 of them are silver. The 2 skinny ones at the bottom of the guitar, if you're a right hand guitar player, it's going to be the bottom strings. Well, I guess it's probably the bottom strings on a left hand guitar as well. So the ones closest to your feet are the ones that are going to be silver, and there's only 2 of them. So that's what I was doing. As you can see, I'm doing the 4 top ones gold and the 2 bottom ones silver. However, and it's not even gold and silver, it's gray and then colored gold. However, I have that the wrong way. I have that orientated the wrong way. So on this guitar, it's actually upside down. For the neck of the guitar, you can see I've cut out an extra piece. It needed reinforcing. It wasn't strong enough. It just was floppy. And I ink blended whatever was left on the black ink blend brush from the base of the guitar. I just put it on that guitar neck just so that it wouldn't be so stark white behind this brown, just so it would blend in better when the guitar is finally done. And I'm going to glue them together. The next step is putting on the guitar frets. So on the neck of a guitar, there's silver pieces that stick up off of the neck of the guitar that the strings rest on, and those are called frets. And I'm just gluing those into place. Now there are many of them. I don't remember exactly, I didn't count. But one thing that's important to do here, again, is to use that zig glue because it's exact, it's very fine, I love it. But the other thing too about zig glue is that you have a little bit of time to play around with it. It doesn't actually dry in place for like 5 minutes. So the other thing to do here is make sure they're absolutely straight in comparison to each other, because if one of them is just a little bit off, it's going to make your guitar neck not look authentic. So I'm just finishing putting those frets on, and they really do make this look really good. I admit I love the look of this. Something that I'm doing here that was a little bit finicky, and you cannot do this if you don't want to. You could use a white pen instead, but those white dots that came off of that piece there, there's a spot to inlay them on the neck, and that's what I'm doing. Again, this was very tedious and very finicky, and sorry you see my head in there, but anyways, I just felt that this added to the look of the authenticity. Now I've cut 2 more guitar necks out of black because I still didn't feel like this guitar neck was sturdy enough. So by cutting 2 more layers, now I will have a total of 4 layers. Now it's on to gluing the strings in place. It's very important that at this end of the strings, you use your glue just on where the curve is. You will see that the strings are mostly straight, but there's a curve at that very end where the curves are, and that's where you want to use the glue. And then put them into place. You have a little bit of time to move them around should they not be in place, which I had to do. They weren't exactly in place, and they moved around perfect with the zig glue. And then a little bit on the neck, just at the bottom, because the neck is going to sit on top of the guitar on that bottom part, and a little bit on that bar at the bottom that's going to fit snugly right into the fret piece at the bottom. And just put some pressure on there and make sure that that is all set in place beautifully. Then it's on to die cutting the tuner peg. So there's a piece for this. Again, I did this in the same gray that the strings are done in, just so that it would match, and it's not silver. I felt like if I did it in silver, it would take away from it. So I'm just doing it in gray and colored the gray gold for the strings, just so that it wasn't silver and gold and take away from the look of the guitar. Now it's on to gluing the pick guard in place. And of course, a pick guard is meant so that when you're strumming, you will not scratch up the beautiful wood that the guitar is made out of with your fingernails or your pick. Now that that is in place, it's time to pull out the stamps and put a stamp on here if you're going to stamp the front of this. What I did was I imagined that this would be a great card for my nephew. So I pulled out the stamp, I put it into my stamping positioner. I got it all in place, all set up. I like to use a stamp positioner. That way, if it doesn't stamp perfectly the first time, no problem. And then I changed my mind. I did all that and didn't even stamp it. When I flipped this over, I realized that it's quite ugly on the back because of the multicolors. So what I decided to do was cut another guitar base, neck, but also a guitar base, and in black, so that I could glue those on the back of the front of the card and have it not look ugly. We still have that hole of the guitar, and I'm gluing it on upside down. The reason being is because the hole in a guitar is lighter wood. It's what the inside unfinished color of the wood looks like. So here I'm just putting it into place. I've put two-way glue onto it, and I'm putting it into place. And actually, I didn't like how this lined up. So I took it off and moved it up just slightly, and then it was perfect. So fiddle with this however you want to, and that's why I use the two-way glue tape, so that it would be removable. Then I'm using the two-way glue tape again around the back of this card, which is the black, and on the stem of this neck. But for the top of the neck, I use liquid glue so that I have time to play with it if I need to, get the holes all lined up perfectly. And then we just put those all in place. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is the point where I really started to fall in love with the look of this guitar. So the next step is to make a base of a card. And we're doing that. This is going to be a shaped card, so it's shaped in the shape of a guitar. And to do that, I line the left edge of that die up over the fold of the card. Now I wanted the top and the bottom to have a fold of the card on it, but the middle part will have the hole in it. And so now when we open up this card base, it's got that hole, it opens and folds nicely. So I'm just gluing that on. It's a shaped card. Now for the inside, I need to make somewhere to write on or somewhere to stamp a sentiment onto. So I'm taking my die that is guitar shaped and I'm cutting it out once, but then I'm moving it over. And what this is going to do is it's going to leave a border of black once we glue it inside, so it'll be shaped in the shape of the guitar. So I've cut it now twice. I'm going to do the other side. And once I get the other side back from the die, I see that I think I'm happy with it. I'm going to check, see if I like this size. You can play around with it until you like it. I didn't like that one corner, so I just trimmed that off with a pair of scissors, and now we can two-way glue this in, and now I have somewhere to write on. There is another add-on to the set called the Musical Notes and Stave Pop-Up, which is also by Bibi Cameron, and it's a set of 8 dies. And I'm grabbing this circular thing. It actually looks like a spring once it's die cut. So I'm just getting some black paper to cut that out of, and there it is. And now I want to trim it down off the paper, but I also want to make it fit inside this card. So I'm going to trim it down even more. And once I have it trimmed down, I'm going to glue this in here. So this is actually like a spring, and you want to give it time to set in place before you open it after it is glued. But there are music notes in this set, the set Musical Notes and Stave Pop-Up. There's musical notes in there that are dies also. And the point is that you glue this in place. You can see I'm doing that here. I'm gluing this to the left-hand flap, the middle to the left-hand flap, and I'm gluing the outside to the right-hand flap. And then I'm going to die cut those musical notes out and glue all of those in place. And I didn't want to bore you guys too much with that, so I really fast forwarded this section a lot because there was glue drying and cutting out of the music notes and gluing those on. Now, one thing that you can do is you can make doubles of the music notes. I didn't, but in reflection, I might go back and do it after, because if you made doubles, then you could put a music note on the, see how I have it just on one side of the black spring? You could put the mirror image on the back side of the black spring so that you can look at this card from both ways and not have it, you know, like right now we're looking at it from this angle, but if we were looking at it from the other angle, you're going to see that spring. The coordinating sentiment set is called Family Musical Mixed Greetings, and I am just getting the words "You Rock," making sure to test them first, because you always want to test them, make sure they're going to stamp nicely. And I'm wondering if I should do another sentiment, but I think this is just enough. So you guys, this is the card done. I'm so very thankful that you've been here to join me today. I have linked all of the products below for you on this YouTube video, so with a quick click, it will take you right to the shop where you can shop at no extra charge to you, and I make a small commission off of that. I am the Rocky Mountain Crafter. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my blog at therockymountaincrafter.com. I made this mock-up for you guys so that you could see exactly how realistic this guitar looks. Love you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.